So you're thinking about moving to Granbury, Texas. Well, in this video, we are going to take you on a tour of 3 different golf course communities. And if you stick around to the very end, we'll give you a tour of the newly renovated clubhouse in De Cordova Bend.
And if this is your first time to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to be the first to know what's happening in the Texas real estate market, go ahead and hit that bell.
My name is Tom Jung.
And I'm Jack Lisenby.
And we are your local Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agents. And whether you're a few days or a few months out, we get phone calls every day from folks just like you. So please don't hesitate to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. So Granbury, Texas.
Yeah, great place.
Yes, it is a big destination for retirees, number 2 in Texas.
Yeah, I think the median age is like almost 50 years old.
Yeah, and not to say that there's not like families and all that other good stuff, there is, but you know, just a great destination. And one of the big reasons is the lake, and the other big reason, golf courses.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, like when you're retired, what else do you want to do but fish and golf if you're a dude?
Right, just enjoy nature.
Yeah,
and hit balls.
Yeah. So if you want to play with balls and
long sticks,
come on down to Texas. All right, so anyways, we're going to be exploring these, and there we do have another video, just general Granbury neighborhood tours. If you want to check that out, you can. But let's talk a little bit about it. So first of all, where is Granbury?
So Granbury, for anyone who doesn't know, is southwest of the DFW area. It's about an hour drive from Fort Worth City Center. From Dallas, that's probably about an hour 30, hour 40, depending on traffic. Its closest neighbor is Weatherford, as far as major cities go, and that's about 40 minutes north.
Cool. And as far as drive times go, if you're looking at these neighborhoods that we're looking at today, so the 3 neighborhoods that we are looking at, probably should have introed that, was first one's going to be Harbor Lakes, and then you've got Pecan Plantation, and then De Cordova Bend.
Okay, so if we use downtown Granbury, if we use that as a point of reference for these neighborhoods, we have Harbor Lakes to the north at about 5 minutes away. We have De Cordova on the other side of the lake at about 15 minutes from downtown Granbury. And then Pecan Plantation is the furthest away at about 20 minutes south.
I always think of Pecan Plantation as like being east for some reason, but yeah. Cool, yeah, so... and then schools. All right, so if you do have kids and you're not retiring, you're probably curious about schools. So Granbury has above average schools. They are, I don't have my notes in front of me, but I think for the most part, B+?
I actually got it, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And
so the overall district was a B+, and that's raised up by the fact that they do have a lot of charter schools and private schools there as well that help out, because some of the public schools are just kind of average. The Mambrino Elementary School came out at a B+. The middle school actually came out at a C+, Granbury Middle School, but the high school was a B with a 95% graduation rate. But a lot of the draw is those private schools because they are actually very well accredited. These are all public schools that we mentioned here.
Yeah, and the other thing too, and this is a little bit confusing. So De Cordova is technically its own city, but the schools are in Acton, which is a different city. But generally everybody refers to the whole area as Granbury, even though Granbury is like a smaller part. And then there's a lot of what we consider Granbury is outside city limits, or it's like these small other things. So that can get a little bit confusing, but Granbury High is the only high school out there. So everything's going to feed into that one. And they are, they do pretty well in every category except for sports.
Yeah, I've never heard anything good about Granbury sports.
Yeah, but anyways, and then the other thing, I'm sure if you are looking to move to this area, is probably crime. You want to know, is it safe?
Yeah, and overall, the crime stats, if you ever look up Granbury, are a little deceiving because there are hot spots and it throws everything out of whack. So as far as actual crime goes, it's about 1 in 25, which seems like a lot. That's the state average is 26 per 1,000. That puts this at like almost 200. So As far as violent crime goes, it's less than one
Hide your
for
kids,
every
hide your
thousand.
wife.
Yeah, I know, right? That sounds awful. But whenever you actually look at the crime on the maps, there's like one or two hot spots where they're having some difficulty with, I think, drugs or something like that. So
I think it's a lot of that and larceny.
yeah, and so it's not like violent crime. Like I said, it's violent crime is actually well below the state average. Like it's less than half. So it's mostly just like petty drug charges.
Yeah, so I think when it comes down to it, you just want to make sure that you're going to be comfortable with the community that you end up in. So it's something like, I feel like in a lot of cities, like you don't really have to worry about that. And then, this is just one of those cases where it's like Granbury is so large and there's so much.
Right. It's so diverse and everything.
Yeah, you just got to pay attention. So.
And then the communities we're going to be talking about today are not any of those hot spots.
Yeah, no, they're not. So
you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, so let's kick it off with Harbor Lakes. So this is, as Jack mentioned, this is going to be the closest to downtown. This is going to be close to really all the shopping in Granbury. A lot of it is concentrated right on the one lane that comes into Granbury, which is also a con to living here, I guess. Like there's like, this is like any small town where it grew so fast. They just didn't plan to have as much traffic as they have. So if you come down that main strip, 377 during rush hour, it's like stoplight. It's great. Especially if the sun's in your eyes. It's the best. But anyways, Harbor Lakes. So this is a pretty large community that's made up of like a couple different subdivisions. And as far as the golf course goes, it is it's pretty nice. I think it's probably the second nicest course, I don't know, out there. It used to be, from talking to some different folks in Granbury, I was told that this used to be like the nicest course out there, but then they've had some management issues and things like that. And so, it happens with every golf course, it seems like, or a lot of them, just whoever's managing it has a big impact on how well everything's done. But the golf course, for the most part, is pretty wide open. There's a lot of water on the course, which makes sense. It's right, Harbor Lakes. It's got a bunch of lakes right next to the lake. So, for the most part, not a lot of elevation, pretty wide open, but it's beautiful as far as courses go. I mean, it's super nice. They've got a lot of really nice, pretty holes. And
All sticks and holes. Here we go.
We're doing great. We're doing great on this video.
Podcast is adult only.
This is our last one of the day. Cool. So as far as membership goes, it's super affordable, which is probably the reason why there's like some maintenance stuff that needs to happen. So you can get a social membership for $65 a month. That gets you access to the club, the dining, and 4 rounds of golf a month. And this is a public course, so with the membership you can book tee times first. So basically members get first go at the tee times, and then if you want like a full-time golf, unlimited golf, it starts at like $200 a month and goes up depending on if it's just one person or a family and that sort of thing. So really, I mean really super affordable. Now as far as the neighborhood goes and the type of houses that are there are a lot of different options. So, and the golf is separate from any HOA dues you may have. So there is, I'll talk about a couple different kind of like niches in here, because again, there's a little bit of everything. So like the earliest part of the subdivision was built back in the 80s. And so like you could buy like a 3-2 home, 1,800 square feet or so for $300,000. So super affordable. And the other thing we haven't mentioned yet is property taxes in Granbury are a lot lower than other parts of the Metroplex, which is a big attractor for retirees, right? Then if you want something newer, I mean, there's just a huge range. It ranges, it ranges quite a bit. But something newer, you're probably looking at spending around $500,000 for 2,400 square feet. So if like you want a nice family-size home, you're probably looking at $500,000. You might find something closer to 4, but for the most part, around 5. There's a part of the neighborhood that's called Water's Edge. So if like you drive past the golf course, then you're going to get into part of this community that has these canals, and then on the far side, it actually borders the main lake. and those homes have been built over the years as well. So you're going to find stuff that's older, stuff that's newer, and those are going to range from like $800 to well over $1 million. Then you have a newer community, which is also in our other video, and these are going to be around 2,400 square feet, about $500,000 for brand new homes. And so those you can still go in, pick out stuff if you are watching this in 2023. And then last but not least, one of my favorite communities is Catalina Bay, and this is between the golf course and the water, and they have canals. They have like really deep, big canals, and it's a gated community. It's really nice. But those are going to be 800,000 and above as well. So a lot of options, and I feel like there's just a lot. As far as like and I missed one. Okay, so as far as like condos go or townhomes, they really don't have any, but they do have this section called the Vineyards, which is, they're more like villas. So they do have like a tiny like side yard or a tiny backyard, but the HOA handles all of the lawn maintenance. So if like you're looking for something that's completely hands off, or maybe it's like a part-time thing where you're just gonna be here part of the year, that's a great place. Most of those were built between 2000 and now, and those are going to range from about 400 to 600,000 depending on the size and the year. So that's a lot of info I'm just throwing out there.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Really paint a picture of the neighborhood. I don't know if I could say that much about Pecan Plantation, but it is a very diverse place. So if we take a slight trip to the south side of the lake, there's a gated community called Pecan Plantation that, lo and behold, used to be a pecan plantation. It started off as like 40 acres of pecan trees, and then it's just kind of grown from there, and the community built around it. But they have a lot of community pride because of it, and it's almost self-sufficient, kind of like a little city in and of itself, because it's a gated community, and as you go through it, it has all the amenities you need. This place has entertainment, it has food, it has like shopping, it has your doctors and storefronts and stuff like that. So they really do want to keep you very local, and it just feels like its own separate part of Granbury.
Yes.
So the houses around here, they usually range between 400,000 and 600,000. There's a couple of outliers, but they're decent sized houses as well. Most of the floor plans are between 2,000 and 2,700 square feet, and they are still building to this day. They've got a lot of acreage to work with out there, because anytime anything goes up for sale, the developers are out there buying it, building new houses. And so they started building back in the 90s, and they're still building to this day. But if you like trees and greenery, this is the place to go, because it's nothing but rows and rows of pecan orchards, and you can see them, like the rows lining up and fading away as you drive past them and everything. It's really pretty. But they've got 2 golf courses. One of them is the Nutcracker course, which I believe is the members only for the people who live there. And then there's a public course, which I don't remember the name of.
It's Pecan Valley.
Pecan Valley.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right. And I haven't played either of those. I'm not a huge golf person. Tom could probably speak to that here in a second. But
it's true.
Yeah. But they've got a community park and garden, which is really nice, because during the summer people will go out there. They'll plant like different type of like low growing like gourds and things like that. And then like people help nurture it. Each person goes over there and like waters each other's plants. It's really nice. You've got the golf courses. You've also got a really nice country club. Like, this thing is big. It looked like a Capitol building. Mm-hmm. And they've got like a crazy memorial and thing out in front of it. They also have their own runway. So I thought that was really cool. Whenever I went down there, I was really hoping to get shots of like the private planes taking off or landing or something like that. But I guess it was just not that time of year.
Okay. Yeah.
But it is really nice. It's well maintained for a private runway, and they've also got stables if you're into horses, because there's, like I said, plenty of land out there. You're right on the lake, beautiful scenery, and you also have archery, because they've got the campgrounds out there by the stables and whatnot. Nothing better than shooting some arrows at hay bales, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
So it's the way Pecan Plantation is set up. It's like a big loop, and I found this out the hard way, because if you don't make a U-turn, you're going to be driving for about 20 minutes to get back around to where you were.
You can run out of gas in the neighborhood.
It's a lot bigger than you think it is. The way they set it up, it was very space efficient, but it's also really cool because you kind of get different architectural styles as you're driving around. Like each little portion of this big loop is its own community within the community.
Yeah, it's this place is so massive. Like, yeah, it's so easy to get lost in there, and you can get through the gate, and then have another 10 minutes to get to your house.
Right.
It's just kind of the way it is. But and when we went out to get some drone footage for the golf course, it was a Saturday morning, and there was 10 sets of cornhole boards set up, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And as we were coming back, this was in front of the clubhouse, and we were coming back, they had a live band, they had drinks set up, they had food and everything else, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I could definitely live here. So the main golf course is, I believe, part of the HOA. Do you have any idea what the HOA is out there?
I don't. It's not. It's not anything crazy. It's like I think it's like $150 a month or something like that.
Okay, yeah. And then the Nutcracker course is the second one, and that one, I believe, I think you told me it's like an extra $50 or $55 a month.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah. So, in that one, I think the Nutcracker, anybody can play. I think the other one is,
I might have got them mixed up.
Yeah, I think you might have had it backwards. And so as far as the course goes, the Pecan course has it's got a lot of elevation. It's a little bit narrower. There's a lot of trees. It's closer to the river. And the Nutcracker, a lot of trees. It's a plantation. There's trees everywhere. And then the Nutcracker course is a little bit flatter. Still a lot of trees everywhere. It's just there's not a ton of water on that course. But for the most part, I mean, both nice courses. I've heard good things about them. I have played the Nutcracker. I haven't played the other one. But hopefully somebody will invite me out there. Huh? Okay, so great spot. And then De Cordova. So this is my favorite, mainly because my parents live there and I know a lot about it. But De Cordova Bend is its own community. It's basically a golf course community, and it sits on the north side of the lake. So that's one of the nice things. And being on the north side of the lake, it's a little bit quicker if you need to get to Fort Worth or anywhere else. You don't have to go through all the stoplights that you would go through if you were living in like Harbor Lakes. And the golf course has a ton of, it's a shorter course, but it's got a lot of elevation to it. And it can be pretty challenging. A lot of people hate playing the course because they have to get out those clubs that they don't normally use, so it makes it a little bit more of a challenge. But I think it's probably one of the best maintained courses out there. And they have just redone the clubhouse, which we'll show you if you stick around to the end. The other thing that's nice about De Cordova, it's got its own marina. So if you've got a boat, they've got a lot of boat slips out there. They've also got a bunch of waterfront property as well. And other amenities include volleyball. And a par 3 course. Jeez, I was like, I know I'm missing something. They have a par 3 course. So if you just want to go out and play a few par 3 holes, super easy to do that. Apart from that, I think that's all I got on the golf course. So if you're looking to purchase a house out there, it's actually very affordable. There's not really any, I think I counted, I think there's like 6 lots left that somebody could possibly build on. So for the most part, this community has been built out, and it's happened over like the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So you're going to get a little bit of everything, but a lot of the homes in there, I think, are, they range from about 1,300 to 3,000 square feet. You're not going to find as many like big homes out there because it is such a retirement place. And so like on average, you're looking at like a 2,200 square foot house for about $375. So really not too bad. They also have quite a few condos out there. So there's a lot of folks that this is like a, their summertime place, and you can get a condo out there fairly inexpensive. I saw one that was as low as $240. Most of them now are closer to $300,000, but that also gets you a slip in a lot of cases. So, it's nice to have a place to park your boat when you come. And then the other thing, this is what I forgot to mention. So the downside to buying in this neighborhood is the HOA. Like whenever you buy a property, there's a $10,000 fee that you pay which is basically like your initiation dues or however you want to look at it. But the upside is that your HOA dues are $200 a month. That includes all your golf plus your trash. So it's really a pretty good value at the end of the day, except for, that big hit you take at the beginning.
Right.
So for that reason, you don't see a ton of turnover. And also, I don't think you can short-term rent in that community either. That's been a pretty big debate in there. Just, but anyways, super nice. Oh, amenities. Did I say pool? They have a swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
I feel like, swimming pool, playground, tennis courts, pickleball. Yeah, they have all that cool stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, great neighborhood. I feel like any way you go, you can't really go wrong in any of these. They're all very nice. I think at the end of the day, if you are a big golf person, it may come down to which course you like better. And if that's the case, come on down. We'll play a round of golf.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, make friends with somebody in the other community, see if they can hook it up.
Yeah. There you go. And that's totally a thing. It's like it feels like a small town, even though it's like so spread out and everything else. Like if you go downtown, they've got. I went and saw a concert downtown.
Yeah.
And they've got a bunch of shops and restaurants, and also there's a brewery, Revolver Brewery, that's out there. We stopped by. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy because my grandpa, he actually retired there. He's got an apartment down by the lake, and it's so small. Like we went to like Chili's. He knows everyone.
Dude, same.
Like
my parents, yeah.
He'll be like, "Oh, hey, whatever. I haven't seen you in a while," and it's just like he's talking to people the whole time. I was like, "Man, I wish I had that kind of socialization skills." But
yeah. So that's it's a good place. Cool. I think that's all we got for you, right? That was yeah. All right. So cool. We're gonna show you a little tour. Golly, it's the end of the day. We're hanging in there. But thanks for sticking around. We're gonna show you a tour of De Cordova Bend's newly renovated clubhouse. At De Cordova Bend, the clubhouse overlooks the lake. You got this big circle drive, and when you come in, you've got this beautiful entryway, and it opens up to the ballroom. Now, if you saw this before, they actually extended this room out onto the porch and put those huge windows in. It looks great. This is the new restaurant, completely different if you ever visited before. One of the nice touches here is all these serving windows. So when it's nice and warm outside and everybody's hanging out at the pool, you don't have to go dripping through the restaurant to get a drink or some food. They also have got a couple different rooms for meetings and events. And of course, we got to show you the pro shop with all that swag to make you look good when you're hitting birdies out there. And last but not least, we've got the 19th hole, and this overlooks the first tee box. Great place to grab a drink afterwards. So if you're looking for a great place to land, De Cordova Bend is a fantastic spot to call home. Hey, cool stuff, huh?
Yeah, it looks great.
Well, that's all we got for you. Thanks for tuning in. As always, we've got resources below. If you want to reach out to us, there's a link in the description. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm, call Tom.